Hi, I'm Paul with Better Living with AirNmore. We sell and repair all types of small infrared heaters along with other items. The EdenPURE heater brand is one that we specialize in. The most common question we get is, how do I get into my heater to replace a heating element? So in this video, we'll show you exactly what you need to know to do that. The three model heaters that we're going to show you are the Gen 3 1000, the 1000 XL, and the Gen 4 series. These are the most common EdenPURE heaters in use today. So our replacement demonstration should answer your question. Once inside, the units do look a bit different. But don't worry. After watching this video, you'll know how to replace your elements in all three models. So let's start by first showing you the tools that will be required for the job. First, a number 2 Phillips screwdriver. We prefer a magnetic one. Yours doesn't have to be. A Sharpie marker and a cloth. There are a number of other tools we just always like to have around. They are a regular slotted screwdriver, a pair of needle nose pliers, and perhaps a regular pair of pliers. In this video, we are going to be using a cordless screwdriver with a number 2 bit on the end. So let's begin first by making sure that the heater is unplugged from all electrical sources. As we said, the Gen 3 1000 and the 1000 XL heaters, for the most part, they're the same procedure on getting into the heater to change the heating elements. I'm going to show you two ways to do just that. One is the preferred way, and the other way is not so much the preferred way, but I'm going to show you that regardless, because there are situations you are going to need two ways to get into the heater. First is the preferred way. Remove your filter cover. Remove your filter. Put it off to the side. Put the heater over on its top, and you'll see there are 3 Phillips head screws in the front of the heater, 2 Phillips head screws in the rear of the heater, forward of the rear wheels. You're going to start by removing the front 3 screws, and then removing the last 2 screws in the front of the rear wheel. You're then going to take the heater, place it back on its wheels, and gently give the heater a push, upright, slide the cabinet off the front of the heater. You can put the cabinet off to the side, and now you're inside the heater. Okay, we mentioned there were 2 ways to get inside the heater. We showed you the first way, which was the preferred way. We're going to show you another way that's not so much the preferred way, it's an alternative way. And the reason why I'm going to show you that, first I'm going to show you that on the 1000 XL, only because, as we said earlier in the video, there is, inside the heaters, there is a little bit of a difference between the Gen 3 1000 and the 1000 XL. So we're going to show you the difference in this portion of the video. The alternative way, and the reason why you would even use this method of getting into the heater, is because doing it the preferred way is exactly that, the preferred way. However, there are some cases you're going to find. Heaters have been out there a long time. Maybe a heater fell, maybe someone sat on it, you have books on it. Things happen, and the bottom of the chassis of the heater can get bent. It happens. We see it all the time. If that happens, it's going to be a bear to get that heater out of that encasement. That's when you want to use the alternative method of getting into the heater. First and foremost, remove your filter cover. Remove your filter. Put it off to the side. You want to flip the heater over on its top, and at this point you want to remove the side covers. There's 6 screws on each side, 3 on the bottom, 3 going down the back. Remove the covers. Now you have 3 more screws on the bottom of the heater that are going in a horizontal position. There's 6 total, 3 on each side. So you have 6 here going in horizontal. Now you come to the outside and you have 2 more Phillips screws on both sides. 1 here in the front, 1 here in the rear. Same thing on the other side of the heater. Now this is the only nice thing about doing this in this way. Just want to take your hand, steady the front of the heater, take your other hand, your right hand, left hand, however you do this, hold the front, take your right hand, left hand, pick the heater up, slide the encasement off, put it out of the way. And the only nice thing about doing it this way is the wheels stay on the heater. And there it is, out of the encasement. So once the heater's out of the cabinet, just visually look at the heater, turn it around so you know what you're going to be working on. And again, not plugged into anything. Just look around, make reference to where the elements are, how they're wired, maybe even take a picture if you have the capability of doing so. And then start by replacing the elements one at a time. There are 2 elements in 2 chambers that you're going to have to work with at one time. It's very easy to do that. Again, make reference to where the wires go. Use your Sharpie pen, make a mark however it works for you, just to know in case you should get confused on where the elements get wired, where the wires go, you have a reference that you made that you would know. And just make a dot perhaps on the bottom element to where the top screw is. And start removing the wires one at a time. Straighten the wires. You have a little holder right here that holds the heating element in place in the heating chamber. You want to carefully remove that off the wires. Put that off to the side. Take the heater, flip it around. Here are your 2 wires coming through. Again, just make reference to where they are. Very simple. And the elements removed. It's the same procedure for the remaining elements. Very important, make a reference for yourself. My reference would be different than your reference. Whatever works for you, take a picture before you start replacing, but whatever works for yourself, make reference to where the wires go, one at a time, and you'd be fine at replacing. Reinstalling, very simple. Take the wires, make sure they are straight. Feed them into the heat chamber. Take your holder over each wire one at a time. Look for your reference. Refer to a picture if you had taken one. And every element kit that we do send out from AirNmore.com, we include a picture of the inside of the heater just in case you do get confused on where the elements are wired to. Once you made a reference, a mark, whatever, just make sure you follow that reference, put the wires back in the appropriate places. And again, we send a picture with every element kit that we send out. And same procedure now for the remaining elements. The one tricky one is the long one in the front because it is hidden through an access door right in the front of the heater. Very easy to see. The Phillips head screw is right there. Red wire is right here. While you're inside the heater, it's a good idea just to do a visual of checking everything. Maybe make sure the fan is spinning correctly, make sure it's not too difficult to turn, and just a good practice to do a good visual of the whole heater inside. These two blue wires are your heat sensor wires. They get wired into the splice box right here as well. Just want to make reference that that's your heat sensor right there because that does come with a kit from AirNmore.com. Putting your heater back together, back into the cabinet, very simple. Put the heater upright so it's on its back. Heater a little push. Make sure it's back, all the holes, the 5 holes line up. You want to make sure the filter's clean. You want to make sure the filter's in good shape, that it's not, falling apart or deteriorated. At this point, you just make sure the filter is clean. Again, we can't emphasize that enough. If you do not have a filter, again, with the kit that we send you through AirNmore, we give you a filter. We encourage you to use the filter. And there you have it. Okay, the next heater we're going to show you how to get into to change the heating elements in is the Gen 4 series heater. These are probably the most common heater out there you'll be changing elements in right now. There's so many of them out there. Very simple. This is probably the easiest one to work on. Take your filter cover out and your filter, just to remove that, get that out of your way. Flip your heater up. It's very simple. There are 4 screws to remove to get this plate off. However, there is another model out there that I do not have here today, and it's the A4428 Gen 4 series. That just gives you an added screw that you have to remove in the back of the heater. Everything else inside is virtually the same. So you want to remove these little tabs that they have on here. That's a little safety label that they put on in the factory. You want to remove that. Remove the Phillips head screws that are hidden behind those. Another Phillips head screw in the back. Total of 4 Phillips head screws. Take the cover off. Inside the heater, there's some heaters use 2 Phillips head screws up on the top to hold this panel in place. Others use 1. Some of the models use 2 Phillips head screws on the bottom. Other models use 1. This particular one, the US Gen 4, uses 1 on the top with this little reinforcing plate that holds the back panel in place, and 1 on the bottom. We're going to remove those. With that done, you're going to take the fan motor, slide the whole plate up a bit, back toward you, and you're going to be looking at 3 connectors going to heating elements. Grab hold of the connectors, do a little wiggle, pull the connector off. Same on the left chamber, same on the rear. There's no marking necessary here. It's really straightforward. You're gonna just remove the wires. I mean, the wires can basically, the short wire on the bottom can only go to the bottom, and the top 2 ribbons, it doesn't really matter which way they go, but you're gonna see they're gonna just fall right into place. And just watch you don't cut yourself on the metal of the heater. It's very simple. Phillips head screw, crossover bar, holding in an element, screw comes out, holder comes off, and the old heating element is out. Insert the new heating element. There's a little holder that holds the very tip of the element, and you want to find that holder, which you can by wiggling the element around. And there it is. Put the bracket back on. Line up the element to the holder. Take your wires. Push them back on your heating element. Your back panel, you want to make sure there's two little slots here that this panel will slide into. So you kind of want to pick that up there. And you'll know they're in line and it's in the correct location when the bottom hole, fill up the hole that lines up. Bracket goes back in the front of the heater. Back on the wheels. Filter back in. Wrap your cord back up. And your Gen 4 heater is set to go. I'm Paul from Better Living with AirNmore, and if you have any questions, you can email me at paul@AirNmore.com. Thanks for watching, and look for more videos to come from AirNmore.com, and you can always check the website for new products and specials. We'll see you next time.